In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a tool called the clone stamp. It's a little tricky and it takes a little time to get used to, but you will find that it is a fairly useful tool. I have some conditions in my drawing here where the planes were supposed to remain white. So there's some little marks in this area here, and there's also some here where my hatch pattern extended past the line. I'm going to work on these ones first because it's a more rectangular condition there. I'm going to press Control plus here till I can zoom in, and then I'm going to pan over here to the right. So you can see there's some of these lines that extend down below. So the first thing that I want to do, because I want to maintain a sort of clean edge here, is I'm going to make a marquee. So you'll see here that there's a rectangular marquee is one of the options here. If I hold down here, I can see some other options. If I need an elliptical marquee or a single row or single column marquee, I can do that there. I can also right click to bring up this menu, but I'm going to use a rectangular one. And I'm going to just focus on a small area here on the screen right here where I have some of those lines coming in. I just want to clean them up just a little bit. All right, now the way that the clone stamp works, and again, it's right here. You can also type in S to bring on that command. You'll see that there's a little circle that appears, and what it's going to do is match an area. So if I have a clean area like right here, I could choose that area as the area to match. So to give you an example, if I wanted to fill that area with this hatch pattern, what I would do is click on Alt and choose a spot down here. And then I would come up to that area and I would fill it with that pattern. But that's not what I want to do here. I want that to be white. So I'm going to hit Control Z or Command Z to get rid of that. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose an area kind of over here. So I'm hitting Alt and clicking. And now what I'm going to do is fill that with a more white, even kind of area. And the nice thing about this is I could always use the paint bucket and just fill it with solid white. But what will happen is that it will be, you might notice that that singular area of just plain solid white kind of stands out. If I use the clone stamp, it's going to get the same variation that I'm matching from. So now I'm going to do Control D to deselect, and I'll just go along here and create another one of these rectangles like this. And then I will go back to the clone stamp or type in S to get back to that command. I will click on Alt and click with my left mouse button, and then I will come up here and fill that with whatever's in that area that I had used the Alt click with. If you need a larger circle, like the bigger area to fill, you can adjust the circle. Right now it's set to 21 pixels, but I could make that larger if I needed to. Let's do one more. I'm using the marquee again, the rectangular marquee, and I'm going to make that rectangle. I'm going to go to my clone stamp. I'm going to press Alt and click, and then I'm going to come up here and fill that area to kind of clean it up just a little bit. Okay, so I probably could have come up a little bit closer to the edge. There's another little mark here that I could remove. There's some little splotches in this area too. Let's work on that a little bit. I'm going to click here, do this marquee, go to the clone stamp. I'm going to pick a point kind of over to the left here. Otherwise, it will start to fill it with my hatch pattern. Oh, see there, it did that. Let's try that again. Yeah, there we go. So you may find that you've got to kind of come back a couple of times and keep working with the Alt click and then come back up and fill the area. Control D removes the marquee. You can also deselect with that toolbar that was below. Now, in an instance like this where I have a diagonal that I need to work with, the rectangle tool is not going to work. So I need to choose a different type of marquee. I'm going to hold down the left mouse button on this icon right here for selection brush tool, and I'm going to make a polygonal lasso, right? So you can see this will enable me to make an unusual shape. So I'm going to click and click, and I'll just kind of do part of the area right here and click again. And now I'm going to use the clone stamp. And this time I'm going to come all the way over here. I'm going to try to match this area. And again, I may need to do this several times to get the area that I want to include. You can see it's starting to produce hatch pattern, which I don't want. So we can try another area. I could try an area like right over here and work that way. And I can keep on selecting points to make this work a little bit better. And it should only be filling the areas within that polygon shape. Okay, Alt and click, and you can kind of keep adding more to that. All right, hit Control D to remove the marquee, and then I'm going to add a little bit more in this area over here. So I'm creating an area to fill, and then I'll use the clone stamp, Alt, click, and then start to fill in some of this area here. Okay, so that's basically that is the idea. And you can use this to sort of clean up areas where you have little blemishes. Right. And that's it for this tutorial.